All right. Great to have you, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, we started our topic on political culture, which we indicated that it is the total of belief systems, the values, political ideas shared by a population of a country or a state. Okay. Their general behavior, attitude towards the political system. That is the political culture. Whether they trust government, they don't trust government, they follow political issues, they don't even have interest in the activities of the state. These are also aspects of political culture. The way they regard state institutions and the way they cooperate or will not cooperate with these. We also looked at the study by Armand and Weber. Now, Armand and Weber, how did they classify political culture? Mention the various ways that they classified political culture. Yes, Martha.
They classified political culture into three different types.
Yes.
Which is, they said they have the participant, subject, and parochial.
Fantastic. And the participants, what is the general outlook of these participants?
The participants, they pay keen attention to the state governing and all that, and they are so much interested in the affairs of the state.
Fantastic. So they pay close attention to politics. They are very interested. They participate. They take part. More or less, gladiatorial in nature. Okay. Now, what of the parochial?
Doc, please, they have little or no idea about what's going on or the decision being taken in the country.
Fantastic. They have little or no idea. They are not even interested in what is happening. Okay. They tend to be far away. Their mind is far away from what you people are even discussing. Okay. Whether LGBTQ, whether, large government is saying they should be clean up or something, they are far removed from the political system. Now, that was the observation made. But according to Armand and Weber, for a state to have what they call civic culture, then we expect more people to be participants, okay? But not everybody should be participants. Now, listen carefully, my dear friends. For us to say that a country or a state has a civic culture, then we expect greater majority of the people, okay, to be interested and active in politics. But we also need a passive minority, okay? I mean, a few people who are not so glued to their political or to the politics of the state. What is the essence of this? I mean, they are to serve as, if you like, a stabilizing force, okay, to neutralize. You see, if everybody is so interested, everybody is so active in politics, what will happen? Let me give you a classic example. Let's say you have a political party. Let's take NDC, for example. And then you have over 20 ministers. Now, assuming all of them have presidential ambitions, what do you think will happen? Tell me.
It's going to be like a competition among themselves.
Yes. Yes, competition is naturally not bad, but then tell me, can it degenerate into something that is not good for governance? Yes, if everybody is interested, what happens?
There will be tension in the system.
There will be
There's going to be
tension,
chaos.
there will be
Yeah.
chaos, okay, and there will be lack of cooperation, okay.
Yes.
So let's say I come to the class and everybody is interested, everybody wants to be the course rep. Then you see that there will be some kind of tensions, chaos, and So for us to have a civic culture, I mean, we should have greater majority of people active in politics, but we also need a passive minority who, I mean, to stabilize the system, okay, to prevent the system from overheating, to prevent it from tensions, acrimony, and all those things associated with excessive competition and struggle for power. But another caveat is that those who are active in politics, those who are participants, they should not so much involved such that they will even refuse to accept decisions which they disagree. No, the fact that you're active in politics or you are a participant does not mean that you should refuse to accept decisions to which you disagree. No, there are things that may not go your way, but you have to accept it, okay? For example, when the NPP presidential candidate, is it 2016 or 2012? Now, when he took the decision to court, well, he said that's 2012. So, well, when the court ruled against him, well, even though I disagree with the court, but I accept it, okay? That is how it should be. It is not always about your view, okay? But you should learn to accept decisions even which you disagree. There are some rooms for you to seek redress. Now, when you exhaust all those avenues, well, you have to throw in the towel. Well, I disagree, but I accept it. That is when we say a state has a civic culture. We should have many people interested in politics, active in politics. They are participants. We also have some minority who are passive in order to stabilize the system, okay? So that when many people are competing, we have others who are also trying to be the to serve as the buffer, who can even call on others to make peace and what have you. But those who are active should not be so glued to the system that decisions that they disagree, they will not refuse it. If you are so glued to a candidate and then greater majority of Ghanaians say that no, we want, let's say, Martha to be the president, even though you did not support Martha, well, it doesn't matter. That is what the majority have decided. And so even though you disagree, you have to accept that decision and honor the person was so elected, whether as an MP or assembly member or a president. Are you with me? That is civic culture. Hello, are you with me, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, fantastic. I want someone to summarize it for me. Someone to summarize the civic culture. At what point do we say a country has a civic culture?
So, Prof.
Yes.
Yeah, we say the country has a civic culture when even though there are some citizens who are very interested in active in political events and political issues, there are some of those who are passive in a way balance the system for democracy to be stable.
Okay, good. And what kind of behavior do we expect from the participants?
They have to be passive, like so maybe even though they disagree with certain decisions from the government, they have to be passive.
Fantastic. Fantastic. they should be measured in their involvement in politics. Okay, when things don't go your way, you have to accept it. Yes, Kwame. Now, in the study carried out by Armand and Weber in 1963, you see, they did a cross-national study, okay, of 5 different countries. Emma, you want to make a point? Okay, otherwise, let's proceed. They did a cross-national study of 5 countries. Now, let's watch the observations keenly. Which of these countries do you think, or would you say, would have a participant political culture?
USA.
USA?
Yes.
Okay. And which of them would you say, well, just going by this, would you say would have somewhat a parochial political culture?
Italy.
Italy.
Italy? Okay. All right. So, I mean, here people were asked from these 5 different countries, do you think if the government is doing something and you don't agree, do you think you, the citizens, you can embark on an action to influence government to change that policy, or to influence government to come up with a policy to benefit the citizens? Well, in USA, 66% said that, yes, we know that we can do that. We can influence the government. We can charge. We can participate in the political system to influence policies. In UK, 56% said yes. Well, in Italy, only 27%. And so now that you know, you understand the 3 types of political culture, I'm glad you've been able to, at least on the face of this data, to make some arguments. Ladies and gentlemen, the very reason why I chose to hold this class online is here. World Value Survey. So as Armand and Weber did their cross-national assessment to know the views of people from 5 countries, we as students of comparative politics, we can also do same. We can also do assessment. So maybe I will ask you to do an assessment of these 5 countries, okay, using recent data. Then you tell me whether things have changed or they remain the same. Are you with me? Hello?
Yes, please. We are
please,
here.
Very
we are
good.
here.
Yes,
So,
please.
So at the international level, we have what we call the World Values Survey. The World Values Association comes out with this survey periodically since 1981. They have been producing this report about the political culture of different countries. Okay, and they are able to know the attitude of people, their political ideas, whether they trust state institutions or not, and many other aspects relevant to political culture, whether they have affective political culture towards their country, whether they have evaluative political culture towards their country, okay, or they have cognitive political culture. They collect various sort data sets. They ask questions. Yes, Emmanuel.
Hello, Doug. Prof.
Yes.
Please, sorry. I want to know if the topic we are starting with, today's topic is starting with the World Value Survey, because I was having some network problems, so I just joined the
You just
class.
joined there. So no, we
Yes,
are continuing with political culture. Okay.
Okay.
So I went over, okay, like we revised the work done by Armand and Weber, where they observe 3 types of political culture, okay? Participant political culture, subject political culture, and then the parochial political culture. And then they argue that for a state to have a civic culture, we expect more people to be active in politics. That means we expect, some with participant political culture, but we also need a few with also, who are not very active, okay, in politics, so that they will stabilize the system. If everybody, is active in politics, then the system there'll be tension, okay? There'll be tension. So we need, and those who are active in politics should also be measured, such that even decisions that they don't agree, they should learn to accept. Okay, if it is a majority decision and you don't agree, you have to respect the views of the majority. So that is what we have done, civic culture. And now this World Value Survey is an aspect of political culture, because the World Values Association collects information across the world, various countries, but not all countries are covered. But at least it is the largest international survey on human beliefs and values. Okay.
Okay, Prof.
So it is a natural progression of what we did last week, and I'm going to teach you how to do analysis with data from the World Value Survey. That is why we held this class online, okay, so that you can follow the process. Are you with me, my dear friends? Good.
Yes, please.
Okay. So the World Value Survey is one of the oldest, was one of the world's largest cross-national social science survey. They gather data from various countries, and if you gauge the data well, you can tell the political culture of different countries. And as I mentioned, since 1981, they measure people's values, beliefs, and attitudes, and how these attitudes change over time. So their data is cross-national as well as cross-time. Do you know that? Hello? It is cross-national and cross-time. Okay. Now, note these names well. Ronald Engelbert and then Christian Welzel. Ronald Engelbert is the president of the World Values Association, and Christian Welzel is the vice president of the World Values Survey. Now, tell me their surnames. Emmanuel, tell me the surnames.
Prof.
Engelhart. Yes, Engelhart.
Inglehart and Welzel.
Engelhart and Welzel. The whole class, I want you to mention it. Everybody mention it.
Engelhart and Welzel.
Fantastic. Engelhart and Welzel. Now mute your microphones. We will get to something where you remember these names, these two names. Okay. Now, the data that the World Value Survey Association comes up with, they ask several questions on democracy and political participation. So you will know which countries, whether the people are gladiatorial in nature or they are whichever, in nature. The religious and then secularization tendency of people, whether the people are too religious or they are a secular state, whether the people make decisions or make arguments on religious doctrines, or they make decisions based on rational technical arguments. Okay. Gender equality, the views of people about gender equality, whether or not they trust political institutions and other people, whether they trust their friends, their family issues, national identity, happiness, whether people are happy, and all this, the data will help you know So once we are done with this class, I will be giving you some assignments for you to tell me the culture of certain groups of people. I can use any of these indicators. Now, one of the best known outputs, which has been done by the World Values Association, is the Inglehart-Welzel Cultural Map. Now, have you come across these two names before? Hello?
Yes.
Who are they?
Prof, they are the president and the vice president of the World Value System.
World Value
Fantastic.
Survey.
Fantastic. So they have come up with what we call the Inglehart-Welzel Cultural Map. And this map positions countries along two key dimensions. Whether a country is more traditional, okay, or it is secular rational, whether they have traditional values or secular rational values, or they have survival instincts, survival values, or self-expression values. And then we are going to explain these two elements. Okay. Now, when we talk of traditional values, then these states, they resort to religion and other societal norms to explain decisions or to take actions. Now, states that are more secular rational base their decision on rational choices. They make rational decisions. It is not about what the holy book or a holy book says, but then the people will weigh the pros and cons, the cost benefits, okay, to make decisions. If they are making national debates, it is more of rationality and not some traditions, not some religious or doctrines. Then also survival values. Well, whether states are interested more in bread and butter issues. They are talking about flooding, okay, how to prevent flooding, how to address their roads which have potholes, water issues, accommodation, and all these survival values, as well as those which have gone past these survival values, and they have more of self-expression values. Okay, all right. The global cultural map shows how scores of societies are located on these two dimensions. The first dimension measures how important a role religion doctrine plays in society. Okay, with secular values indicating a largely reduced role of organized religion. So where will you place Ghana? Are we more of one that uses religious doctrine or secular?
We are secular.
We are what?
Secular.
Are you sure?
Religious
doctrine plays a major role in Ghanaian society.
Well, now you are using your opinions, but we will see what the cultural map says, okay? So hold your fire, my dear friends. The second dimension indicates how autonomous from kinship obligations individuals in the society are in their life planning, with self-expression values emphasizing high individual autonomy. In states like the Western world, okay, Western Europe and the Americans, where people want more freedoms, individual autonomy, the state should allow them, even to do, in terms of rights, okay, the extreme form, where people even want to marry trees, animals, and all those. Well, people demand high levels of autonomy. These are self-expression values. Okay, now this is the latest report. This is the Inglehart-Welzel Cultural map. So maybe if in exam I bring something like this and I don't bring the title, Now I ask you, how will you describe this? What title will you give to this map? And you should be able to tell me that it is the Inglehart-Welzel Cultural map and explain what it does. And then I will ask you, you see the map has what? Countries. Now see here, this is when you take the horizontal line, it is the survival versus self-expression values. Now the median here is 0. When you move towards right, it is positive in nature. When you move towards left, it is negative. So all countries that are found on the right-hand side, they have what? Positive. But the numbers attached indicates whether, the intensity of your self-expression. So here 0.50. Now let's project this. Which countries can you find here? Can you find a country here? Colombia, right?
Yes.
Yes.
What does it tell you?
Mexico.
Mexico,
Bolivia.
Philippines, okay, Argentina. It tells you that these countries, they have what? Self-expression values, but the level is what? 0.50. Okay. Now come to one.
Okay.
Which countries can you find?
Latin America.
Very good. Now let's come to the peak. 3.50. Which countries can you find? Or even from 3 to 3.5. Which countries can you find?
Iceland.
Very good. So these,
Denmark. Sweden.
yes, these Western European states, you can see that they have got high self-expression values. Now let's also take the negative line. Look at the countries here, 0.50. Which countries can you find?
Tanzania.
Tanzania. Where can you find Ghana?
Yes.
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 -1. What does it tell you?
Negative one. Low
Our self-expression value is low.
So what kind of culture is Ghana?
Parochial.
No, in terms of the values.
Tradition.
So when you are coming towards your left, it is what? Survival values, okay? So all those on the left of 0, they have what? Survival values. They are thinking of bread and butter issues, unemployment issues, hunger issues. That is what their concern is with, not about extreme form of. That's why when people hear about LGBTQ, they are mad. Many Ghanaians, when people are even talking about LGBT, you see, people treat the thing with anger because how did we even get here? We are thinking about hospitals, no bed syndrome, poor roads and ambulance systems, and these are things people want to be brought on the table for discussion. So once they hear things about, and then they are annoyed because we have our survival values. Okay, they are interested in things about the economy. So now Ghana has what? -1. What does it tell you?
Means Ghana thinks about survival.
Sorry?
Ghana thinks about survival.
Survival issues. Okay. Survival.
Yes.
Now, let's take countries like those that have what? -2. -2. You have what? Egypt and then the likes.
Egypt and Zimbabwe.
Exactly. Okay, good. Now, this is how we compute. This is how we compute on the World Value Survey. Now, that's why I made the class online. Everybody, you can go online. So we go to World Value Survey, okay? World Value Survey. And then you go to Data and Documentation. Data and Documentation. Click on Online Analysis. Select the countries you want, and then the question. So let me see if I can go online, and then whether or not you can see my screen. Let me see. Well, World Value Survey is here. I will open and then I will now share my screen so that we can all follow. We are comparativists, okay? And as comparativists, we deal with what? Cross-national comparison. And in this class or today, as we are studying of political culture, we want to do a cross-national assessment of political culture. Good. So let me now share my screen. I've opened the World Value Survey. You just go to Google and click on World Value Survey. Can you see my screen?
Not yet, bro.
Yes, we can see it now.
Can you see? Can you see the World Value Survey?
Yes.
So you can simply type on Google World Value Survey. Now, I said that once you go to the World Value Survey, click on Data and Documentation. Can you see it here? Now, if you look at the pictures here, what does it tell you? Look at the different pictures. What does it tell you? Yes, different cultures, right?
Different races.
Different
Yes,
backgrounds.
different cultures, you look at the way they are dressed. Okay, so let's go to data and documentation. Data and documentation.
Mm-hmm.
Is it open?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we have for data and documentation. Then we go to online analysis. Can you see it?
Yes.
Online analysis. Great. Since they do cross-national study, they are for data for different year period. Now, this is the latest report. Let's select that one. Okay, are we there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Okay, let me charge mine. Okay, good. Now, let's select some countries, maybe Finland. Okay, Finland. How do you see Finland, Denmark? Let's take Egypt. Which other? Any Kenya. Let me see. Any Africa, Nigeria. Okay, good. Now, have you seen the countries you've selected? So if I give you assignment, I'll give you the countries. Now let's go to the questions. These are the survey questions. Are you with me? Okay, good.
Yes,
Dog, please wait.
Okay, good. Should I proceed? After selecting the countries, you click on the survey questions. Are you there?
No.
yes.
Who is lost? So now you just click on the drop down arrow where you have got numerous questions there. Important in life. I mean, they were asked, what did they find was important in life? Other friends, leisure time, politics. You see, if you want to measure political, their culture. Let's say active in politics. We can select that question. Or let me take any, okay, important in life, politics. Okay, important in life, religion. Hello, let's take out religion. All right.
Okay.
Show tree. Okay, let's take politics. All right, show. Then it comes out. Now, do you see the cross-national assessment? Look at the countries. Denmark is here,
Yes.
Finland is here, Kenya, Nigeria, Egypt. Now you can do analysis of these information, this information you have. In Denmark, 31% said, well, rather what important. Nigeria, 23 said what rather important. 34 said very important. And so you can do synthesis of this. All right. Let me go back. Go to data documentation. Yes.
Let's take it once again, please.
Yes, we are going back again. You go to data and documentation, look at do online analysis. Okay. You can take any of the data set, but I prefer the most recent one. So you click on that. Then you select which countries you prefer. Okay, which countries, whether Portugal, Taiwan, Republic of China, UK, which other? Egypt, okay, China. Okay, we selected different countries. Let's go to next, or you can just click on what questions. Okay, let's click on next. It will bring us to the questions. Now you see the questions are here, but you have to click on the drop-down arrow, okay, so that you see the different questions. Different questions. Religious faith, obedience, people of a different race, homosexuals, people of, I mean, a lot of questions. Okay. Problem if women have more income than husband. And people were asked this question. Let's see. Different countries, how do people respond? Do you want answer to this one? If people have problem, if women have more income than husband.
Yes, Prof.
Ladies, you want that?
Yes,
please.
Yes.
Let's see the countries where the people will have. So you click on show. Show. To process for you. Good. Now in China, strongly agree. Okay, strongly agree. 6% agree. 17%. So they will have problem. Okay, they will have problem. But look at Taiwan. Also, 2 plus 17. So clearly, 19 people will have problem. Look at Egypt. 31 plus 24. You have what? 55% will have problem. Now look at Great Britain. Look, only 7%. So you see, it tells you the general attitude of the people. So what does it tell you about Great Britain? What do the people think about, equality and feminism? They have no problem, right? If women will have more income even than their husband. So I will ask you to do cross-national analysis of political culture, and then I'll give you some specific pointers. For example, trust in political institutions. And I'll give you some countries. You go and do it. This one, you have to go to the World Value Survey. AI will not help you. Don't waste your time. You have to come and work. Go to the World Value Survey and then analysis and then report. Are you with me, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Then you should be able to interpret the data very well. Good. Now, let's go back to our lecture slide. Where is it? World Value Survey. Good. Can you see it? All right. Let's look at new trends in political culture. Trust. And I will give you an assignment on trust. To go and use the World Value Survey to examine it. Now, political trust. This is the belief that the system and institutions of government generate competent decisions which reflect leaders' concern for those they govern. When we say there is political trust, it means that the people have some kind of assurance, they have some belief, they have some confidence that their political system or their institutions of state, their government, the police, the GRA, the MMDAs take decisions which are competent, okay? You know, these institutions take decisions on behalf of us. So when the people have confidence that these institutions, and for that matter, government, will take what competent decisions, which reflect the leaders' concern for those they govern. So if the people have the belief, confidence that, oh, we can sleep because we know that our governments will make decisions based on consideration of the problems we are having, and then they will take decisions that will help solve our problems. If the people have that kind of what mindset, then they have a political trust. Are you with me? So once we say people there's political trust, it means that people have the tendency to have faith in their government because they believe that the government and the state institutions and whatever are there to make decisions that will benefit the long-term best interest of the citizens. Now, contrast that with distrust. If the people do not have that belief, it means there's what? Distrust. Okay? Do you think Ghanaians have trust in state institutions and the government? Yes.
No.
No.
Why do you say no? Well, but yes. Generally, trust in state institutions have been reducing over time, not only in Ghana, but in several states, even in Western European countries. Okay, political trust in government has been reducing. In 1999, a study was done, and it observed that there was a cross-country study, and it was noted that political trust has been reducing, okay, for at least some 17 different countries that were part of the survey. In the US, around 3 out of 4, 3/4 of Americans said they trusted the federal government to do the right thing. But at the bottom of the cycle, only a quarter did so. In 2012. Okay, 2012. You see that this has been reducing. The people who said they trust their system has been reducing over time. A similar study was done in the UK. Okay, in UK, where only 40%, okay, indicated trust in government in 2000. But by 2010, this has reduced by another 20%. Okay, yes, Martha.
Can we say that it is due to promise and fail? Because let's use Ghana as a case study. When the leaders comes, they promise us to do A, B, C, but then when they come, they don't do any of those things. So at the end of the day, if that government is no more in power and another one comes, we don't trust the new one, even if the person makes promises, because
Yes,
it's like we are known to their tactics and all that.
fantastic. And that is right. Okay, this thing that you have mentioned explains one of the theories accounting for people's decreasing trust in government across the globe. And I will talk more about this when we get to the theories. Okay. Now, trust is very important. When people have trust, it means they can cooperate with you. But if people do not have trust in you, they will not cooperate with you. If let's say you have a very good, you have a partner, then the partner says, oh, Martha, I have 10,000. You too, I know you have some 9,000. Bring it. Let's go and buy land so that when we marry, we have something, will you do it?
She won't.
Martha,
no, I won't do it. I won't do it. I'll never do it.
Yes, she will not do because she doesn't trust whether even that thing will come on or not. Huh? And so, where there is trust, there is cooperation. So when there's trust, then cooperation reduces. But in the political system or in the states, where, last week we talked about collective action. Collective action helps very well in development. Let's say you want to develop a road. Oh, people should come. Each one bring 10 cities, those who have cement, bring it. Those who are, then we are able to, put the road in good shape. If people do not trust even who is collecting or who is mobilizing the people together, they are not likely to cooperate. Distrust breeds for political deflation. Okay, a culture of trust oils the wheels of collective action. This is a point I've made. Now, let's look at how to increase or promote trust. How do we increase political trust? There are two theories. One, cultural theories argue that institutional trust is exogenous to the political sphere. It is rooted in cultural values and normative beliefs. So the cultural values and the cultural theories argue that whether or not a people will believe their government, will trust their government, will trust their president, will trust their MP, is not even about what the MP is doing per se, or what the government is doing per se. But in the society, people naturally don't trust one another. Like Martha mentioned, even at the societal level, we don't trust our friends. Families don't trust even your family members. Your family member will come to your house, you serve them food, and they want you to taste it before they even start eating. Right? Your family member is traveling abroad. They will come to Accra, you are with them, you are chatting, you even went, to church in the evening together, or you went to the club in the evening together, and then the person ostensibly went, to their house or, where they were lodging. The next day, you saw the person on Facebook saying, oh, what God cannot do does not exist. Oluwa is involved, and then the person is showing pictures that they have arrived in the, in UK or in the US. But you were with the person last night. The person did not what? Even hint. You got no hint that the person was traveling that night. They don't trust you. You are a wizard or you are a witch. In our society where everybody is a wizard or the devil, where people have fought that traditional value, they will not say anything. Everything is secret. Culture, so they don't trust. Clearly, at the political or institutional level, we don't expect them to trust our state institutions because even their parents, they don't trust them. Sometimes the mother will be telling something, they'll say, oh, this one, don't tell your father. Have you heard about that before? Don't tell your father.
Yes, a lot.
Countless
don't tell your father.
Yes. Yes, I have example.
Martha,
I remember there was a day that my mom asked my dad about money to cook, and my dad I don't know whether they were fighting or something. My dad said he doesn't have money, but then we saw money in his bag. So my mom silently picked the money, and then we cooked, then we ate and washed the bowl. When he came, he was looking for his money. My mom said, but he said we were not having money. And then he asked us whether we have eaten. We said no. Everything was like washed and packed.
Yes. So, and more importantly, sometimes when you are doing well, you are excelling in some aspect, then they say, oh, don't tell your father. Your father, he will go and what? He will go and tell other people. Men, they want to brag about their kids. Oh, my kid has gone to, is doing well in school. He got all A's. Say, oh, don't tell your father, or your father will go and tell other people, or even when you are, and then maybe the other people will bewitch you. We don't trust. And so clearly, this will transcend to the national level, where people may not trust their leaders. Okay. So to Easton, there must be some cohesive cement, a sense of feeling of community amongst the members. If we want to promote trust, it should be from the societal level, okay, at the political socialization level. Unless such identity emerges, the political system may not survive. We don't trust ourselves from the society, so clearly we will not trust leaders. Okay, that is the cultural theory. Now, scholars like Berg and Germ have argued that a strong civic national identity has a positive impact on institutional trust, whereas a strong ethnic national identity has a negative impact on institutional trust. If you have a state or a government, or a country, where the people strongly identify with their ethnic or group, but not with the state, then clearly they will not trust the state, because they are so glued to their ethnic group that they see others as aliens. So if the state is governed by other people from other tribes, they will not trust them. But where there is strong civic national identity, we are Ghanaians first. Okay, so today when you go to Rwanda, they don't identify with their ethnic groups. Okay, no. First, Rwanda, you are Rwandan. Even if you ask them about, they will not mention any ethnic group. They are trying to build that strong national identity, so that what happened between the Tutsis and the Hutus, where people were killed, the genocide, they don't want to witness that thing again, where people are so glued to their ethnic group that they were calling other people inferior. Others were what? Cockroaches. Now, if you see others as cockroaches, will you respect them? Will you value them? If they are in leadership, will you trust them? No. But if you see everybody as a Rwandan and not, with their ethnic identity, you are going to love them. You are going to trust them or value them. Okay. So that is what the cultural theories advise us to do. There should be a strong sense of civic national identity, so that we build a positive institutional trust. Are we together? The second one is what Martha mentioned, the institutional performance theories. You cannot compel Martha to trust the political system. If government, you said that you were going to create more jobs, yet you came and you rather are collapsing existing jobs. You are not adding anything. You are rather collapsing existing jobs. You are rather sacking people already employed. Do you expect people to trust? Right? Martha, do we expect people to trust?
No,
Then,
sir.
No.
And a typical example is GN Bank when Nanado came into power. So when Nanado came into power, several banks that were collapsed, and then people had to lose their jobs. So when Nanado actually made it known that after him, Dr. Baumia will be the next presidential candidate for the NPP. People actually lost interest in the NPP due to some of these things.
Okay.
That resulted in the massive voter turnout for the NDC to be voted into power.
Very well. So,
Prof, I also have an example of it.
yes, Ivan.
It's a recent one. You can talk of the woman who was supposed to be in prison, but here lies the case. He arrived in Ghana and there was news all over that since she came, she has not been in the prison block. She's at her home enjoying and stuff. And it took the minority to
blow
speak
the
about it in parliament for redress and.
Okay. Well, so those are some of the things. Government sees some money, some dollars, with the food in the full glare of the cameras, and some gold and other things. And then the minister would appear in parliament. They will ask about the whereabouts of those things. Then he will say, "Oh, the money was fake." If the money was fake, well, and what about the gold and the other things? Okay, but these are some of the things when we don't have for transparency, okay, in the system, it makes people have less trust in government institutions. The way institutions perform. You said that we should vote for you. When you come, you were going to construct our roads. Then you come and you said that MP does not do roads. But you knew that. Why did you say it the other way around? Then people will not trust you. Okay, all right. This is founded in the rational choice perspective. Trust in legal, political institutions and in actors is based on rational evaluation. So last week we mentioned 3 dimensions of political culture. One is evaluative political culture. People rationally will evaluate what you said you were going to do and what you have done. People will evaluate how you have used your state resources, whether you have used it in the best interest of the people or in your own sectional or parochial interest. So here, the institutional trust reflects the objective conditions of government performance. Sometimes people may not trust government because of their cultural values, but when you come and then they see that, hey, the government is performing, they will trust. They will trust the system. Well, first, when the government came, people thought that the dollar that was reducing would be a 9-day wonder. People were still hoarding their dollars. Businesses wouldn't want to reduce prices. Well, with time, they realized that the thing was still stable over time. And so when the performance is appreciable, people who even were skeptical, okay, begin to have trust in the system, and then will want to go and then change any dollar that they have. People will not be hoarding dollars, right? They will not be hoarding dollars because now they trust, okay, what the Bank of Ghana is telling them. But if a government will say, oh, we are going to do cleanup of the banking system, no employer will lose their jobs. But at the end of the day, many employees, you said no employee, no worker will lose their job. But at the end of the day, many employees, many workers, lost their jobs. Next time, when you are going to embark on a similar thing in another organization, you say, oh, workers, be rest assured, we are only cleaning the system. Nobody will lose their job. You think that people will trust? Do you think they will trust? Hello?
No problem.
No, they'll have fear of something that has happened before.
Yes. Yeah. So that is what had happened in the past, okay, will reflect the people's mindset. So when public institutions are successful, in delivering the goods and services they were designed to, or or the goods and services, the promises, they made to the people. Institutional trust is expected to improve or thrive. But when governments fail, then trust also reduces. Okay, so when I ask you, you are the advisor to the president. You are to discuss two major ways that will enhance people's trust in government and state institutions. If I ask you this question, I want you to reason from the cultural theories and then the institutional performance theories. Can you do that? Yes. All right.
Yes.
Now, I asked a question whether Ghanaians trust their system. And you were, there were two sides. Some were affirmative, others were answering otherwise. But the CDD Afrobarometer, they did a survey of Ghanaians. Okay, and they asked a cross-section of Ghanaians, how much do you trust each of the following institutions? Or haven't you heard enough about them to say? How much do you trust each of the following institutions? Now, this is the response Ghanaians said. How much do you trust? Now, the Ghana Armed Forces, 32% of the people said, well, we trust them, we somewhat trust them. And 35 said, we trust them a lot. Now, put the two together, what is the percentage? 32 and 35, what do you get? Yes, what do you get?
67.
67. So, well, it's quite high. Religious leaders, 29 said, well, we trust them, we somewhat trust them. And then 20 said, we trust them a lot. Yes, what's the percentage?
49.
49. See, very low. Traditional leaders came third, 27 and 17. Followed by the courts, 26 and 10%. Put together, what do you get?
36.
The Electoral Commission, 23 and 10. The president, 18 and 14. Now, so you can see that the trust in the institutions are very low. MMDC is, coming very low, 18 and 5%. Okay, that's 23%. Ghana Revenue Authority, 21 and 5. That's 26. Parliament, 19% and 8%. That is 27%. The police, 21 and then 7. That's 28.
28.
Okay. Now, at that time, people trusted the opposition political parties more. 22 and 7? You have 29. But the government 29. In power, the NPP, 18 and 9. You see?
27.
Yes. 27. So you can use this data to say that, well, it seems Ghanaians don't trust their institutions. They have less trust. Do you agree? Based on this data? Yeah, you can authoritatively say that. Good. Now, a similar study was done to examine whether people trust the Ghana Revenue Authority. And you see, 27 and 10% said they trust the GRA. Put it together, what do you get? 10 and 27?
37.
Only 37 said they trust the Ghana Revenue Authority. The remaining, they are skeptical. So if GRA wants to take taxes from people, people may not be willing to pay, to comply. So it makes tax collection difficult. Ghanaians do not have much trust. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at social capital. Social capital. When we talk of social capital, it refers to the human networks that you have. When things are difficult, can you fall on other people? And when you cast your eye somewhere, are there people that you can fall on? For example, when you need advice, do you have people that you can fall on? When you need funding, do you have people you can fall on? Let's say you want to run for SRC president. Do you have people that will even campaign for you? We do have family and friends, your classmates, old school people who are here in Legon that will be supporting your campaign. Do you have funders that will fund your campaign, giving you t-shirts, giving you cars to be moving from one place to the other? That is social capital. You see, it is the resources embedded in human networks. The amount of networks that you have determines your worth and also your wealth. Okay? Yes. Sometimes they might not have money, but they can advise you what to do. If you face problems, when you have problems, there are people that can give you advice, technical knowledge. Those that can fund you, they can give you funding. So last week, when we look at the civic voluntarism model of culture, we mentioned that one of the resources or elements is the resources available. Okay, resources. When you have high social capital, it also determines the resources that you have. In fact, in itself, it's a resource. Social capital is a resource, but that one is embedded in human networks. So when people want to embark on some even political agenda, they weigh themselves. Will my people support me? My religious group, will they support me? Will my family and friends support me? Will my political party support me? All these are forms or parts of networks. It is called social capital. Okay? In economics, when you talk of capital, then you are talking about maybe money. Okay? Have you been able to raise capital for your business? Capital. Then you are talking about economic in nature, maybe money, loan, and what have you. Here we are talking about social capital. Do you have what? People that can what? Give you wisdom, advice, resources that can give you strength when you are in trouble? Do you have, or when you want to embark on a journey, do you have people that will support you? That is your social capital. Sometimes you can have all the economic capital. Let's say you want to apply for a school, then you have nobody that to give you a reference letter. Hey, you don't have social capital. When you are on campus, what are you doing? And then you are in trouble. All right. Now, social capital emerged from trust theory. Good. Social capital, talks about the sense of belonging, the networks, the bonding, the diversity, the feelings of trust and safety, and all that. That is social capital. All right. Are you with me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Prof.
Now, you see, in Armand and Weber's work that they carried out in 1963, which was a cross-national study, which mentioned the countries that they surveyed. Which countries?
United States, UK, Mexico,
United States, Italy, Mexico.
All right.
Western Germany.
Fantastic. So, you see, in their study, what did they find about Italy? What was the situation with Italy?
Italy was seen as having a higher parochial political culture. They were not taught to participate in the affairs of the states.
Okay, good. Meaning that, you see, and of course, they didn't trust the system. That was why they were minding their own business. Are you with me? So Italy, now in the 1990s, this person, Putnam, this scholar, Putnam, wanted to find out more about the Italian situation. What accounted for that kind of political culture. Yes, Ima, please mute your microphone. Ampati. Emmanuel Ampati, mute your microphone. Now, so Putnam in 1993 will do a detailed case study of Italy. Mentioned that, you see, we do case study, you can take out a single case, do an in-depth analysis of the case. So he wanted to track and to test ideas about trust, social capital, and political culture in Italy. That made the people, argue that they cannot influence government because they don't trust whether they say it or not. They don't trust that government will even take their views. Now, he observes that a supportive political culture directly enhances the performance of a political system, where the people, trust the political system, and for that matter, they support. We mentioned that, trust brings about collective action, okay? Like when people go to church, we say, we are going to build the auditorium. So everybody, make some pledges. Some will say, I pledge 1,000. Some will say, I pledge 500, I pledge 300, 200. Then they say, Ketwa Kabia Fabra, Niaka Botumbia, bring it. People willingly will give. Why? Because they trust that, the money will be used for that purpose. And even if it will not be used, they have done their part. God will bless them. Because of that trust that, they are going to receive some divine blessing, and also their trust in the religious leader, people willingly give. But let's say government, say, we are collecting a levy, 1 cedi, everybody. You see, people will protest this 1 cedi. They'll protest. That is where they are going to showcase that they are gladiators. Protests here and there, demonstrations here and there, right? Simply because of 1 cedi, because of trust issues. But they will willingly give even more than 100 cedis, 1,000 cedis, okay, where trust. Okay, good. So let's see what they observed. Now, in the Italian domain or jurisdiction where they sought to do a detailed assessment, they observed that 20 new regional governments that were created in 1970, there were some kind of different observations. Now, even though the 20 regional governments had some similar outlook, they had many similarities, yet they were producing different outcomes. So when you use the most similar systems design, my dear friends, where we mentioned that you have different cases. Now these different cases, they have similar attributes, yet they are producing different outcomes. And this is what he noted. 20 new regional governments. These were his observation. They had similar structures because they were formed by the same the same institution or the same law, giving them the same powers. Okay, the same powers. Yet there was varied outcomes in terms of performance. Local governments that were in the north, example is Emilia-Romagna, found in the north, had proven to be more stable and effective. If you want good roads, you will find there, good hospitals, you'll find the quality education, good drinking water, what have you. You will find it in those regional governments in the north. And they were implementing innovative policies. Whilst other regional bodies in the south, example, the Calabria local government achieved very little. Now, what explains this contrast? The simple answer was found in what? Political culture. He finds answers in political culture that the most successful regions have a positive political culture. They have a positive political culture. They have a tradition of trust and cooperation, which results in high levels of social capital. So for them, since time immemorial, since the time past, since the olden days, their society, they have had a culture of trust. And so they trust themselves in their societies. And since government is a microcosm of society, they also trust their government and they are willing to cooperate with government. If they say, oh, they are doing what Yibima, everybody will willingly donate. The state is, or the regional body is able to mobilize resources from the people. The people comply. If they want to collect taxes, they will comply willingly. And even if the state or the regional government would ask them to tighten their belt for a period, because maybe they want to construct road, the people will do that willingly. They will comply because they have that culture of trust. Here you see the cultural theories of increasing trust. By contrast, the least effective governments are found in regions, those in the south, that lack any tradition of collaboration and equality. In the south, where there was greater inequality, some were seen as landowners, others were landless people, and so there was this feudal arrangement where the landowners could oppress the landless people. So they had a tradition of feudal arrangements. So there was a greater inequality in society. So people don't trust people, those who have money and affluence. The poor, they don't trust these guys. They are going to oppress us. Why do we cooperate with them? In such circumstances, supplies of social capital runs low and governments can achieve little. All right. Are we together? Now, hello.
We are here.
Fantastic. Now, Putnam observed that the answer explaining these different different observations in terms of the political culture, that of the North and the South. The answer is historical, deeply rooted in their histories. The more effective governments in the North, they draw on a tradition of communal self-help dating from the 12th century. So you see the cultural theory. So they trust their leaders, and the leaders have also not let them down. Otherwise, the institutional performance will kick in. Now, the least successful ones in the South are burdened with a long history of feudal system, foreign, bureaucratic, and authoritarian rule. And so they have encountered oppressors before. And so if today, you are also a leader, that mindset they have about, the region. Putnam's analysis illustrates how political culture can be a device through which the past influences the present. Do you agree? Do you agree? So if I pose a harmless question, Putnam's analysis of the Italian case illustrates how political culture can be a device through which the past influences the present. Discuss this. I want you to take me through the case study done by Putnam in 1993 about the Italian system. Okay, you have to contrast those from the north and those from the south, and how the differences in culture impacted the government performance. Let's look at post-material values. political generations and post-material values. Any question so far? Okay, let's proceed. Now, when we talk of political generation, ladies and gentlemen, political generation. You have heard about generation, the current generation, the older generation, what have you. Generation. Now, political generation is the idea that humans or people in a particular time period may share common political experiences. People who were born in a particular period, whether they were born in the 1960s, the 2000s, the 2010s. So the political generation argues that humans or people born in a particular time period may share common political experiences. And these experiences would affect the people's opinions, how they see life, how they see politics, how they see civilian rule, how they see military rule, such that politics develops through such generations. What they have witnessed is how they perceive politics as such. So, for example, if you were born around the 1960s, and so you encountered the 69, I'm referring to the 66 coup. You also witnessed the AFRC, 1979 uprising, and the different coups. If you were born before that period, and so you witnessed such coup, the way you say things will be different from someone who was born in 2010 or the 2000s. You see, those who were born in the 2000s or 1990s, any small issue, they say, oh, the soldiers should even take over. They should take over the steers of government. That is why when there's any survey, you can check the demography of the people and the kind of responses they have given. It tells you political generation. The period that people were born, it shapes their political experiences as well as their opinions, sentiments about politics. For example, when you grew up in an environment of war, well, you are someone who does not want to even talk about war, because you felt depressed. And so, it colors your political attitude in a manner that persists throughout your life. You are a depressed person, you are a bitter person, and I tell you, when I was in South Africa studying my PhD, there was one lady from Rwanda who has sought asylum in South Africa. She witnessed the war. And so anytime she hears about, the state of Rwanda, if we see Rwanda is doing well, oh, Rwanda, people are praising Rwanda, and then this person is very annoyed because of her experience. And I believe most of the people that experience the genocide, once they hear about such thing, and then they are not happy. That cannot be so with the younger ones who were born from the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, who have come to see a Rwanda in good shape. They don't know Hutus, they don't know Tutsis, all they know is, Rwanda, and what the state is doing. Political generation is an age cohort that share distinctive experiences and values which shape their perspective through their life course. All right, now see here, people who were born from 1946, you see, 1946, this was the period after the Second World War. So from 1946 to 1964, people that were born between that period. When was the first coup d'etat in Ghana? When was the first coup d'etat in Ghana?
1966.
1966.
1966. And so, at least you should remember that the baby boomers, they were from what? 1946 to the 60s, 64. I mean, 2 years before the first coup d'etat in Ghana. But you can even what? Cross it, starting from 1946, ending in 1964. So each of them you have what? 4, 6, 4, just that. So from 1946 to 1964. Now, people who were born between this period, they were raised in the post-World War II era. That was the period after the World War II. And so society found itself in a very hard situation. So society was more about survival instincts. Resources were very limited. Resources were scarce at the time. Unemployment was high, even in Western European countries. That was where they had come out of the Second World War. Their societies had become so hard hit that they even needed Marshall Plan to re-establish, systems. People were unemployed, a lot of diseases in society. Most factories had come to a halt. And so, people who were born between that period, they are very work-centric. Their whole thing is about work to restore, work to build a society. They are conservative and they are more competitive. Today, they form less than 20%. Most of them have died. They form less than 20%. You see, the last ones who died, you may have the likes of DL and all these, Well, but these guys, these are baby boomers. We have Generation X. These were born from 1965 to the 1980s. These were raised in the period after war, but also before technology in society. They prefer work. They also enjoy life, family issues, that is work-life balance. They are independent and they are materialistic. They seek survival instincts. Today, they also form less than 30%. But we have Generation Y, who are called the millennials. These were born from 1981 to 1996. They were raised in an economy that was stable, period when technology was advancing in society. And so these people, this generation, they like questioning society. They like questioning the status quo. Why do men have to marry women? Why do women have to marry men only? Why is it that men cannot do with men? Why is it that women cannot? So, it is a questioning type of cohorts. They like questioning the status quo. Flexible, they like a soft life. They want to go off script. They don't want to go by what society has laid down, what history has. No. They are, they want to free their mind. Self-prioritization and then group-oriented. Everything is about the individual. Today, they form at least some 35%. We have the Generation Z, Gen Z. Who are the Gen Zs here? And who are the millennials?
Gen Z.
Gen Z is us and millennials.
Okay, you are all Gen Zs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but you are the millennial.
Who are the millennials?
Or you are Gen X.
Prof, you are Gen Y.
Well, maybe I'm Gen Y. Of course. We are we began questioning the status quo and the millennials. Okay, now the Gen Z, these were raised in a digitalized economy. Yes, highly digital. So that even when they are 4 years, I'm saying 4 years, 3 years, they can use the phone because they were raised using the tablets. Even when they are 1 month, you see, mommy shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 da da, daddy shark do 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 do, mommy shark do 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 do. And you see, that is that. So raised in a digitalized world economy, economically fluctuating society has what? Well advanced. So whilst the baby boomers and Generation X, they met a society that was now developing out of war. So they were thinking about how to fix roads, how to get good hospitals, potable water, quality health system, quality education, fixing what things. Now, Gen Z and the likes will come. All these things have been fixed, especially in the Western world, but not in Africa here. Now, these things are well fixed in this Western world. And so there's nothing to add more. So all these guys will do will be to ask for some additional rights, some abstract rights, because they will say, oh, we need roads. The roads are there already. The roads, they will not wait for it to go bad in this Western world. After some number of years, they will come and change the surface and make it anew. So you have nothing to complain about these things. So people now resort to somewhat abstract forms of rights, then demands on the political system. Now, from the 1940s to the 1970s, the Western world witnessed a period of unprecedented economic growth. So features such as you've never had it so good. There was a cliche when things were booming, like you've never had it so good, but things were better for society. The era saw relative international peace, and so people will grow with in a period where there is peace, not witness any total war or any world war. People will not be witnessing some coup d'etat or revolution. The government expanded the welfare system so that people who are unemployed will even get unemployment benefits. And so then people appeared okay. And so this kind of good life, soft life, will lead to a silent revolution in Western political culture called post-materialism. People are not interested in bread and butter issues because that has been resolved. So clearly, they are not interested in survival values because that is solved already. That's why when we check the Inglehart-Welzel Cultural map, you saw the Western European countries, right? Very high on self-expressive values. They are not thinking about anything like survival values. Post-materialism is a commitment to self-expression values, emphasizing human diversity, individual liberty, and autonomy. So people will be asking for more enhanced rights. Give us our liberties, our autonomy to choose whatever we want to do. We want more freedoms. These values can emerge, especially among the educated young, from a foundation of personal security and material affluence. From the 1960s, a new generation of post-materialists would emerge. Young, well-educated people focused on lifestyle. They'll be advocating or advancing on issues such as ecology, nuclear disarmament, feminism, and then the likes. Whilst earlier generations like the baby boomers, and then Generation X, Y, had focused on survival values, which will lead to a concern with order and security fixed rules. You had a group of post-materialists that will come and will question the order. They will question the fixed rules. They will question the status quo and will want to rock the boat, okay, asking for more. And what are some of the more? Things about climate change, ecofeminism, rights, and the likes. Are we together? Let's look at political socialization. Now, political socialization, we are referring to the various ways through which people learn their political culture. Okay, how do people learn their political culture? Yes, how do people learn their political culture?
From their family.
From their families, when they are born first, okay? So there are various agents of socialization. People start from the home. Every day, if your parents are insulting the government, well, the person will grow and then will not even trust what the state or government, politicians. Then in society, when you go to school, like we are doing here, when you come to school, we teach you. When you were in primary school, today they are teaching them history about Ghana, to infuse them with their cognitive political culture, and also to have affective political culture, just as others have done for the state. So consciously, we inculcate political culture into the people, and there are agents of socialization. We also have an indirect way where people will not listen to what you are saying, but then they copy what you are doing. They will emulate what politicians are doing. They will emulate what their leaders are doing. They emulate what their teachers are doing. They emulate what their parents are doing. Okay, what their parents are saying when parents are having a discussion and all this. So that is the indirect way, okay? Scholars like Bandura have used the social learning theory, okay, to argue that people don't just listen or copy what you are telling them. Yes, the advice is good, but we are also interested in what you are doing. Don't say, well, as for me, just listen to what I am saying, but don't copy what I'm doing. No, people are likely to copy per the social learning theory. People learn consciously or unconsciously over time. Are we together?
Yes, please.
So these are the agents of socialization. The media, the mass media, professional organization, religious organization. When you go to your religious gathering, they are all inculcating something in you. The political parties, at all times, they are teaching the people. Like when the chairman of the NDC was doing his thank you talk, whenever he went out, he would tell the people, well, you see, you have to support your government. When he meets NDC, he said, well, support the government. The government is doing a lot of things to benefit the country. It is bringing the cedi, it's a cedi to dollar ratio, keeping it well. The cedi has been stable. Fuel prices have been reduced, e-levy, talking about the general things. But if you have not had appointments, note that maybe yours will come in the evening. Some have had theirs in the morning, others have had theirs in the afternoon. Yours may come in the evening or even tomorrow. So support the government. This one that he's doing is improving their cognitive orientation, telling them what the government has done and is doing. And also the affective political culture. He is trying to make them more trust, to improve trust. Political parties. Now, same way, the opposition will also be telling the people that, hey, Sedena Temakulu has been in Ghana, but per their checks, she's not in the prison. Okay? Hey, government sees something and then it has turned into something else. hey, this is happening here. There's corruption in this sector, corruption in that sector. And so they are also informing the public of what is happening, okay? So that they are informed. They get information about what is happening. Educational institutions like what we are doing here, teaching you about political culture, that you have to be good. You have to trust your political system, okay? So that it oils collective action, and that will improve the way states perform or the outcome. Once there is high collective action, it can improve things. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we are ending today's session. Any question, any comments? Yes. Sorry. Any question?
I have a comment.
Okay, yes, please make a comment, Ima.
It's about the graphic impression of the world value system.
Yes.
The one designed by Welzel, the world culture map.
Yes.
Does it imply that countries that are less to do well in economic, they are within the survival range, moving negative? Because if you look at it, you see that most of the peripheral countries are within that range.
Exactly.
And the self-expression are for the core country.
Fantastic. Because it is after when you are when belly is full, when you are satisfied, that is when you'll be talking about certain things. You see, and that is how human beings behave. Okay, when you are looking for the job, say, oh, whatever you give me, I'll take. Sometimes even when they are talking nonsense, you even will comply. But once you secure the job and then you are well to do, minor issues which may not even warrant your aggression, and then the person is annoyed, okay? Because now they have achieved the survival instinct. Now have high self-expressive values, okay? That's why they say.
Okay, Prof.
Yes, Ima.
I said, okay, thank you, Prof.
Yeah, so those poor countries, they are thinking about how to get their roads fixed, how to get good hospitals. So if they have something to tell government, it will be all those things. So when you have met government leaders, you have to tell them two important things. So the people, are always talking about survival issues, unemployment, they want jobs after school, and all this. Whilst those that are rich already, the very day that you complete school, if you want job, you can get. Most of these Western world countries, you can switch jobs anytime. You don't have to know somebody in government before you get a job. And so for them, these things are given. And so they usually don't have to even request. What they are keen will be to ask for more freedoms, more liberties, and other, abstract kind of thoughts. All right, good. Any other? Fantastic. All right. In the absence of any further question or comments, let me thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen. The class is ended. We are meeting next week, okay? Now, you are presenting your assignment next week, okay, class? I'm likely to give you another one, okay? All right, then you bring the two. Bye-bye. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Prof.